Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of March 2016 General Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, where it comes to our experience, our collective experience, it is all about the eclipses. Eclipse season happens this month. And for you, you are having a solar eclipse happening at the very base of your chart. And then you have got a lunar eclipse. And this lunar eclipse is happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with friendships. That has to do with your alliances to other people. All of that is going to be highlighted now. So let's start with that first eclipse taking place. So that first eclipse is happening right around the early part of the month and right around the time that we have a conversation playing out, the second of three exact meetings between Jupiter and Pluto. This is going to be very powerful, and this lends itself to meaningful gains and positive change. So this is happening with Jupiter in a part of the sky for you that has to do with what is happening with your career, what is happening in the biggest sense in terms of how high you can go, how high you can reach at that. That has to do with understanding your goals and your direction that much more and making solid gains that help you to strengthen yourself financially and otherwise. So we have that supportive energy that is continuing into this year and into this month. So remember, it's the second of three. The first happened back in October. Now the second and the third will be in June. So this is part of a continuing conversation. You can use this energy to ask for that raise, ask for that promotion, be open to the possibilities of what you want to do, what it is that you could excel at that truly feels like it'll help you to build a solid sense of self, a solid sense of wealth as well. So remember, this is initiating a powerful process that has solid roots for a very, very long time to come. We also have with this the eclipse happening, and this eclipse is happening at the very bottom of your sky. This has to do with home, and home is about to get some fresh energy. So this is about either buying or selling or moving places. So this is your physical home. Very possible that one of those is going to take place. There is some financial advantage to this move, it seems, or at least you'll be a part of the motivation will be the financial advantage. However, ultimately the changes that you want are about creating a greater sense of stability and creating a sense of connection to the prosperity that you experience and how that is reflected in terms of where you are living, what home is for you. What I also really like about this solar eclipse is that it gets you to see your past, your family of origin differently. And in some cases where it applies, your parents as well might be part of this picture. So either it will be these people who are part of your life now, who you need to spend more time with, in some cases surprisingly so, like all of a sudden, okay, yeah, I gotta go home for a little while. So whatever you consider home, you might have to actually make that trip. And for others of you, this is going to be a desire to be home and whatever you understand home to be. Again, there might be an element there playing out that has to do with needing to understand where you've been to know where you're going. And so this particular eclipse is speaking with Jupiter at the very top of your sky. So when we have such sensitive, important parts of the sky amplified like we do with this eclipse, it does speak to a time that has a sweeping change, and as is for you, likely is going to affect and speak to many different areas of your life. But these decisions, these occurrences are not coming about necessarily easily. There might be, for some of you out there, a sense of obligation with the changes now and a sense of tough choices, tough decisions as part of deciding what it means to empower yourself and what you have to do to get there. And that's because Saturn is speaking with Jupiter and speaking with this eclipse. So yes, maybe needing to overcome some inner resistance, overcome some inertia, or just having to be there, right? Having to be responsible, feeling like this is a tough call, but you got to make it. For some of you, a small percentage of you out there, might be the case. However, all Sagittarius out there ultimately are going to feel refreshed and renewed and empowered by considering your past or spending time in places or with people of your past, particularly family of origin. So this is all surrounding the solar eclipse. Fresh opportunities in terms of where you're living, fresh understandings about where you've been. That's key to understand with this, that allows you to make a powerful forward move. As we move towards the later part of the month, we've got this lunar eclipse taking place. Now this lunar eclipse is happening in a part of the sky that has to do with friendship. And so this is going to be the dynamics, the understandings with a friend or with a group that you belong to, you have membership with, changing. So for some of you out there, this is going to play out in terms of a one-on-one friendship where you see this person differently. You're realizing who is your friend, who is not, who is growing in other directions. But normally, this is a lunar eclipse. It has to do with emotional truth coming to the surface. It has to do with seeing things differently because you are different and understanding that you are different now. So think back to what was taking place in your life, like, oh, way back in the day. So if we were to go back to what was happening in your life, parts of 2009, 2010, 2011, most of 2012, well, what was happening in that time was Saturn was moving through this part of the sky, your friendship area. And it was during that time that you certainly made some changes, got clear on who your friends were, got an understanding of what you're really hoping for, what you're really wishing for, got an understanding of who your people are, what groups you belong to, what groups you want to join, getting more active in those. So all of that would have been a heightened lesson because Saturn was moving through that part of the sky. Well, now we're having a lunar eclipse in that part of the sky, but at the same time, on the same day, very close to the exact moment of that eclipse, we are having the second of 3 exact conversations between Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter is your ruling planet, so what Jupiter does becomes that much more important. And Saturn is in your sign. So I share this and I put this together because these factors together do suggest, with Saturn being awakened, Saturn being spoken to in a rare conversation with your ruling planet, it does suggest that the connection does go back to what was taking place in your life while Saturn was in this part of the sky that had to do with friendship. What takes place now will in some way speak to what you understood, what you saw, what you felt back then, and will help you understand what you're ready to do now and how it is now that you've changed, that you're moving forward, and that you are growing stronger. What I love about this month for you is it is getting you clear about who your people are and who they are not, and being okay with that, making the tough call, but knowing that if you choose yourself, all will be well. And that's true as well in just about any area of life, all areas of life. It really comes down to you knowing yourself, knowing who you are, having a deepening of appreciation as to where your loyalties and where your responsibilities truly are. The answers might surprise you. The answers might not be what you'd expect. Because yes, you're responsible for yourself and for your happiness. And at the same time, you're responsible for what it is that you desire to experience more of. How are you creating that future right now? You'll get some powerful insights and also be shown the keys to make the changes that need to be so that you can start to feel like you truly are in alignment with that higher vision that you have for your life and that higher vision that the universe has for your life to move you towards greater love, and greater wisdom.